Thank you for tuning in to another episode of WGC Fits. Today we are going to be looking at the new Ping G430 driver line. Pretty exciting line this year. We're going to have Trent Maxwell hitting for us. Say hi, Trent.
Hello. How are you guys?
So we are starting off with the 430 Max. So This is going to be the standard model. We've got all of these. We're going to be trying out one of the new Ping Tour shafts, which is the Ping Tour 2.0 Black. We've got you in a 65 stiff, which is pretty close to kind of what you would game. Go ahead and take a rip at them and let's see what we get.
Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Thanks. So first thing right out of the bat, the look of this driver looks so much better, I think, than maybe 425 was.
I think it's either the shape or the lines or something.
Correct.
I play the 425. I was testing this out the other day. I thought this driver looked much more neutral, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, again, not that 425 looked bad.
No, not at all. This one I think just looks different.
Ping always says that because of their nature, I mean, anything they release, they feel is better than their previous model.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this was 2 years in development. So, yeah, I mean, let's give it a spin and see how it does.
That's one of the things that I've always liked about Ping is they always talk about, right? They're vocal about how they're always trying to build off what they learned previously, Mm-hmm. I think that's just a cool thing from a company standpoint. So this is the Max model. This is probably not the model we'd be looking to put you into. But
that being said, I've played the normal model before in Ping.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
So I played a G400 for a little while. I really liked it. It was a little bit smaller head. It sounded and looked really, really good.
400s were good. I was a big fan of those.
I think the sound of it is appreciably better than 425 out here. On
the first thing that people always said when I gave them a 425 was, wow, that's a sound. Yeah. And I think that this is remarkably better across the board from a sound standpoint. And that was a big thing that they talked about in all of the tech stuff is there's a lot of stuff going on inside this driver, kind of rib structures and weight positioning and walls and all that kind of stuff to help make that sound a much better, more kind of appeasing sound.
Yeah, certainly sound is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
A lot better.
And so far, it's kind of doing what I'd expect a Max to do. I mean, I think one of the things that's cool about these drivers are they're not trying to do stuff that they're not going to do, right?
Right.
I would always describe Ping drivers as something that's, something that's going to help you, something that's going to kind of be in the tests for ball speed across the face and all that kind of stuff, but just nothing that's like freaky low spin or anything like that. Very playable, I think, is the best way to put it.
Very playable, very consistent.
Yeah, consistent that's it. Consistency is king.
Forgiving and consistent. So, I mean, if you want something that's very playable, hey, man, if I can get in play on every hole with the tee shot, that's a good start.
You're doing one better than the next guy.
Right.
I'll tell you what.
I hit his pretty good, huh?
Cold Ohio day. I mean, I think maybe you are a Max guy.
Maybe not a 10.5 Max guy.
No, I think we got to go 9 guy. But how's the new shaft feel? Because this is brand new for them this year. It's supposed to be the equivalent to a kind of lower launching kind of version of the Tour shaft.
It feels good. It feels good. It's got a different look to it. I've used the old Tour in the past with the gray look, which was much more muted. Not saying this is loud, but you can kind of see the difference, separation in the two.
I gotta say, from a look standpoint, I know that in the past, and I know they've been doing better at it the past couple years, but I know in the past Ping's it's got to perform first, and then they kind of worry about looks like second, kind of almost.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that the stuff
function
looks function before form, right? I think the stuff past couple years, including this year, has looked really good, right? Definitely a step in the right direction for Ping, I think, there.
No, I think it looks good.
I feel like we could just watch you hit this down the middle all day.
Right. And certainly we have it set. I mean, there's different weight settings in the head. We just have it set as neutral.
Everything we're going to be testing is going to be relatively neutral. Yeah, we want to let the clubs kind of show what they can do.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, just standard setting, neutral.
All right, let's switch it up. Let's go to we'll do the SFT model next.
Sure, the straight flight technology.
This one's going to be fun for Trent. This is going to be the one that is going to be kind of targeted for the most improvement, let's say. Anybody who's kind of missing the ball a little bit to the right, anybody who needs help getting the ball up in the air a little bit, somebody who just needs spin to keep on the ball to kind of keep it in air, right? Those are all kind of players that we're going to be looking at for this guy. So visually, what do we think?
Visually, it doesn't really look any different. Maybe a little touch more closed, but
both this one and the Max that you just did are 460 cc heads, right? And I honestly didn't think they looked all that different from the playing position.
I don't think it looked. I mean, you can maybe see a little bit more of the face. I noticed this is new for them in the 430. You actually have an adjustable weight as opposed to a fixed weight.
Correct. Yeah.
So you have a draw and a draw plus setting. So like I said, this is SFT. It's straight flight technology. I've actually had some people that maybe don't necessarily. Maybe even they were drawers of the golf ball, but they still this performed really well for them because their miss would be a block. So it'd be interesting to see.
The straight flight portion of it, I think, really kind of comes out, right? This one, it's good for the guy who misses it in general, you know?
Oh boy. Okay, not the best driver for me, but. That's okay. Part of that was swing. That wasn't the best of swing.
Trent has no problem drawing a golf ball when he wants.
No.
Which is why this is an interesting test, because let's see what this driver can do for a guy like you.
I'll try not to fix anything.
Just let it rip.
Oh, that was not a good swing. Straighter.
Really straight, really high.
Really high. It's going to be really spinny too, I think.
The SFT is going to spin more. It's good for the guy who, at times really can't spin the ball enough and needs help kind of keep it in the air,
So sound-wise, maybe a little louder here?
Definitely got a little bit more of a pitch to it, but I don't think that it's
not bad.
It's not as bad as,
not at all.
Like I said, these draw bias drivers have been. I mean, so far we've tested a couple, and I could say that they both have sounded far better than they did in the years past.
Correct. Oh, sorry, AJ.
No, see, we love seeing those ones. We always do a funny test with Ian where we try to make him draw something. It's really funny to watch Ian try to draw stuff. It just doesn't happen.
It's a 1 yard draw.
Literally a 1 yard draw. Especially when you give him a big game improvement iron, it's just hilarious.
Well, if we need help turning the golf ball over, I know which driver I'm going to go to.
Definitely. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? Those strikes have all been decent, but, maybe not the absolute best at times. Right?
You can actually kind of see them.
Yeah, a little bit toe bias, exactly, right? And the interesting thing there is, from a downrange dispersion, I would argue those are still pretty good, right? We see the forgiveness is kind of there, right? Yeah. And one of the things that you kind of just mentioned, we mentioned it with the standard model, right? Consistency, right? That seems like it's a very consistent flight. Maybe not the setup for you, but something that I think definitely shows to what, the Ping driver does in general, So now we have the Ping 430 LST. Now this is something that personally I'm pretty excited for. Now Ping's normally a titanium driver head, right? They haven't really done too much with carbon as of late.
Not since the Rapture.
And how good was that club?
That golf club was amazing.
Still, I have people, when they bring that in like a Rapture fairway wood, it sometimes is still hard to beat, right? I mean, those clubs, they're so good. Long, consistent, right? When I saw that they were putting this carbon wrap crown on there, I was very excited to hit this. Now, I will say from a sound standpoint, I'm very curious about this one, right?
Okay.
We know the other ones sound good so far. I'm hoping that this one sounds a certain way. Other than that, let's just grip and rip it, man. I'm excited to see this one.
So, initial thoughts, it looks a little smaller.
This one is smaller, 440 cc's.
Also, just because of that carbon crown, that carbon wrapped crown, the appearance is just different. Not bad, it's different coming from that, the previous model to this.
I personally really like the way the carbon looks. I think it's a really cool feature.
Well, that was a little straighter than the last one. That was hit hard.
So that was a very good hit. Now, when you talk to Ping about this driver specifically, right? It's their low spin technology, right? But it's also got a relatively high MOI. Now, I can't quote you exactly what that is, but it's actually a great deal higher than, you know, a lot of other people's quote unquote low spin drivers out there, right? It was described to me as not being like crazy low spin, but keep you in that lower kind of window, but still give you a very playable kind of shot. And that was music to my ears when I heard that, because who doesn't like a little bit of help, you know?
Oh, good miss.
So far, I'm liking the sound.
I about missed that one.
Little toey.
A lot toey.
What do you normally like to launch a ball at?
I kind of one of those high launch, low spin type of guys. So I normally launch it 14.5 to 16 degrees and usually spin it between 2,000 and 2,500. So
that's pretty much bang on for your numbers then.
it is.
Yeah.
Maybe a touch high, but yeah, it's good. No,
You like the ball flight coming out? You like the window?
yeah, I think so. I feel like I can turn it over without it getting away from me.
We're going to look at something that's very cool after you hit a couple more here. But again, I'm going to keep, this is the point I always hammer kind of when I'm working with Ping products, right? Consistency. You just hit 3 golf shots out of your 4 golf shots, and they have all been sitting on the 280-yard line.
That was pretty good.
We got the whistle.
Like that one.
Trent Maxwell approved.
I got that one. That was nice. Oh, it didn't get to 280 on that one.
We need you to step into this one a little bit, Trent.
What's that?
We need you to step into this one a little bit. All right.
I don't think I can.
You're 4.7 yards shy of where I need you.
What's nice about this shaft is I feel like I can swing it. It doesn't feel like it's work or anything. I tried to hit it a little harder.
I personally, just from playing around with it briefly, I like this shaft a lot. I think this shaft feels to me pretty decent compared to the old one. And not that the old one felt bad, but
278, sorry.
acceptable. I'll give you a plus or minus 2 at 280 yards. All right. So I think you're hitting this pretty well. Like I said, for me, this one checks off all the boxes. I like the ball flight that we're getting. I like the story, right? Being able to talk about a carbon crown on a Ping driver again is cool, you know? I mean, you can't get mad at that one.
No, 280.
All day. I think this one, good marks across the board.
Yeah, I would say so.
I like it a lot. You know, when I was hitting it, it didn't seem like it was too unruly, right? It seemed playable, very consistent. I love the sound. I love the look. I'm always a fan of smaller head shape, right? Just visually, it's appealing. You know, I think it's going to be a good one to bring out this year.
It's funny because if you look at the marks that I had on the SFT and the marks I have here are almost identical.
Well,
and yet the ball flights are entirely different. So
all about the fitting, right?
it's all about the fitting, all about the head, the design.
Internal weighting, right? I mean, draw bias versus more neutral. It all makes sense. Now, with all of the ping drivers, right, we're getting all the carryover tech from all the other ones. So you got your tuning port, kind of neutral, fade, draw bias. You can go flat with them. You've got your adjustable weight technology. New addition to the shaft lineup this year. They're also offering something that they're calling the Alta Quick, which is going to be an interesting one to kind of get in people's hands. Excited for that as well.
Maybe that's what I need, the Quick.
I think we'll fit you up for a Quick, you know. We'll tip it a little bit, just a little bit. But yeah, no, I think this is pretty good, man.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of WGC Fits. For any questions about any of the Ping G430 line, please come and see us. Like and subscribe. We'll see you.